Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start filling in for the animal, and we're going to overlap it. This is one time. Remember, we're going to do this again because this is the first layer. So this is just to give you an idea of where everything goes. So you have a map for how to paint this. So basically, you're just going to use basic colors, and the animal in the painting is orange. So you can use tints of that orange in your colors. So the first step is to mix your colors. So you're going to take just some basic, the orange, and add a good amount of white to it and really lighten it up. You're going to make different layers of this orange. Now that won't matter. And then you'll see it's like a pale almost. It gets very pale. And then a little bit more white and about half of what you mixed. And that'll give you the next value. So you'll have two shades of the same orange. And you want to have a good difference between them. And then the animal has black stripes in it, so you're not going to really worry. We're going to use a gray for that right now. So that's the first step, is you're going to use a gray. So clean off your knife. And then you want to take a little bit of black. Very little. And you mix the white with it. And you're not going to use a lot of this. This is just going to be a suggestion. I want to be very light. So once I get my first gray mix, I want to add more white to it. Because I don't want this color to be too dark. Because then you can't go darker over black. So I want to keep the values light. Oh, got a little green there. So then now you're going to do is in the animal, you want to get the background and you want to kind of get that basic shape. So you're going to go to the lightest color first now and then a little darker on top of it. And this is just to give you the suggestion of where everything is. So detail isn't that important. You're going to kind of really go through this and make sure and get the paint a little more watery, because this is the undercoat. This also prevents from having too much of the white canvas coming through. So when the painting's done, you're preventing any of that white showing through at the end. You have your reference so you can see where you're putting everything. So now the lighter orange is going to be here in his nose. We're going to cover that in. And then we're going to put each thing in. So you don't have to be perfect. You're just going to kind of bring in the colors that you see. Let's see, the eye, under the eye. I'm just going to kind of get those colors in. And then there's going to be other colors that go on top of that to get those other colors in, to see where they go. So we're just going to kind of bring in the shape of the animal's face. We want to just kind of blotch it in. It looks like a big orange ball right now, but it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just kind of filling it in. So you know where the two eyes are, and you can see through the colors still, because the paint is so thin, you can where that is, and this is going to be here and here. Shows the outside edge of the animal's face. And then there's a light that comes in here and here, and then the ears. And you can see the line, so you can follow that and get that shape and that contour. Now the light is coming from the top, so you want to have the lighter color at the top of the animal and the darker color toward the middle. we're just going to kind of put a little light right along and kind of follow that shape. We'll go a little bit darker as we go down. Now you remember you can see through, so if you're covering what you're painting, it's okay. Then I'm going to go to that next value, darker value of the orange in the middle. And when I'm done, I'll do the dark colors over the top. You don't want to use the brush on the flat edge. You want to keep it sideways. It's going to give the impression of fur. It's really important to do that. And you kind of bleed into the, with little strokes, into the top section, which will give you the sensation, the look of fur. It's just two colors, that's it. We're not getting into the detail yet, but we're just kind of giving that sensation of the shape of the animal going down. And then there's a leg here. Now even though the thing to remember is, you can see in the picture that the shape of the animal's leg is here, but the fur determines the shape by the highlights of the fur. So there's this dark period that comes down that shows that leg, so you know where it is. And that's all there is to it. And then you're going to put the light colors in between to show the highlight of it. And the same thing with the back leg. You can see in the photo that it's darker here than it is here. So we're going to bring that dark color in of the orange in here. And we're going to go back over the top where I'm overlapping, later. Okay. And then you just bring in those light colors again. Once you get this covered, you can start seeing the shapes of the animal, the contour, the different parts of the muscle structure, it'll start coming in more clearly over once you get there. Doesn't look like much now, but it will. And then you want to get the face right. At this point, with the smaller areas, you want to move it to a smaller flat brush. That's going to help you get those details. And you go even whiter. It's almost a white, but it's not quite, because later on you're going to have highlights on top and you don't want to lose the opportunity to go to a full clean white. So now we're going to bring in the muzzle of the animal. And I'm not really being too particular about every detail. I'm just kind of filling in. And then there's this leg comes down. We have this fur that comes out. And then we have to do over here. And now I'm going to go back to that dark color. And that's the base. And then what we're going to do is bring in those darker colors at the top to kind of really show the contour, and we kind of go in even darker in here and even lighter at the top. And it gets dark again toward the water edge down here to show that leg. And then we go to the white again. Always make sure to clean your brushes in between change colors once you go from dark to light, because you're not going to be able to get rid of that dark paint. And this is what brings the animal out on the canvas better. And this is just your base coat. It gives you an idea of what and then we got it here. And then I'm going to bring these light tones in. Okay, now we go into our blacks. And we're going to have to let this dry, and then we'll come back to the next set of tones.